Hello everybody, welcome back to Shadowrun. Let's go have a chat with oh, there's a bunch of people on the streets now. Hi. A pair of dead-eyed transients lean against the abandoned car, their shoulders slumped. A pile of overstuffed bags lie in a heap on the sidewalk, spilling into the rain-choked gutter. The smaller of the pair looks down, notices that his bags are getting soaked, and does nothing. Seems like he's too exhausted to care. The shorter of the transients slowly shifts his attention to you. His voice comes out hollow and empty. You're one of Chang's. It isn't a question. Hopefully she'll let you leave. He nods his head toward the Hyoi gates and the open road beyond. That's what we're doing. Getting the hell out of here while we still can. If you're smart, you'll follow us. Everyone with half a brain's getting out of this place. I'm gonna fix it. You're either a fool or you're crazy. Nothing can fix what's coming for the walled city, and Hyoi's way too close to that place for comfort. And you're getting dreams? Just like when we were kids, we heard the stories of the Yama Kings. The two exchanged glances. They weren't just dreams this time, they were signs, warnings. And what kind of warnings? The kind you don't ignore. He stoops to begin pulling his bags off the sidewalk and out of the gutter. Come on, Shen, it's time to go. Great. Actually, we've never stopped by this this guy. Now that we... You again, I thought I told you to fuck off. Kindly will vouch for me. Yeah, you just idle your engine there for a minute and I'll check on that. I don't actually remember the voice I gave him anymore. It's been so long. The door gives several heavy metallic clicks. There's a dull rumble like heavy bolts sliding back. A green light flashes on the terminal. It appears to be unlocked. You can enter the clinic. Is this where we get our cyberware? Hi. Clinic looks like it just hosted a party. Spindly mechanical arms swing from unobtrusive wall mounts, pulling down crepe paper ribbons and scooping food platters and empty beer bottles into biohazard bags. The severely crippled Caucasian man sits in a wheelchair amidst the maelstrom of mess and robotics. He's in his 40s, thick beard, tungsten earrings, beer belly, one cyber eye. Both his legs are missing, one at the hip, the other at the knee. He has only one arm, and only 3 fingers remain on his surviving hand. His face and arms show the scars of reconstructive surgery. He grins widely at you, regarding you with bloodshot eyes. He's clearly hungover. Hey, I'm Ambrose. He shouts cheerfully in English, his words piling together in a loose Midwestern accent. Okay. I don't know if... I mean... There really isn't... Depending on where you're looking, there's not a lot of difference between quote-unquote Midwest and the accent that I have here, which because I don't have a strong, like, nor'easter accent. But anyway, they call me Ten Arms. Welcome to the Kong, fellow UCASian. He chuckles, his chest shaking with mirth. A Waldo arm springs to life and swings over to him. Its menacing metal pincer momentarily sets a cigarette between his lips, just long enough for him to inhale from it. Kindly says you're alright. What can I do for you? What can I do you for? What do you do here? What do I do? Tune-ups and engine rebuilds on your ass. I do it all. First aid, second aid, surgery, cybernetics, obstetrics, euthanasia. I'm your one-stop shop for health and beauty. Well, maybe not beauty. I don't modify... I mean... Really gonna say that when we got that? What sort of mechanical services? Oh, nothing you'd be interested in. Right now, I'm mostly doing engine mechanics and electrician stuff. I send maximum law and reliable Matthew any work they can handle. It's really just a hobby and service to the community. I may make mine out with the clinic. He looks fondly over at the massive, partially assembled V8 engine occupying part of the operating theater. Baby's gonna be a goddess when I'm done with her. Combat wear? You know it. You got the coin and the essence. I'll trick you out like a bulldozer with ground effects and a turret. Got it all. Bionic limbs, wired reflexes, decker wear, blood filters, synthetic muscle, bone lacing, greased bearings, ground effects, tight bolts. Full range of Chrome Alley services is something we like to keep beneath the HKPF's radar. He winks. So you're a, quote-unquote, doctor? Sure I am. Rigger doctor. A rockter. Oh, man. Can't laugh that hard today. Too much partying last night. Kinda hurts. Not board certified, but don't worry, it should be. I'm full-on skilled. Works Yellow Lotus guaranteed and precisely in accordance with World Medical Association standards. Everybody in UA comes to me because I'm the only option. Very well, Rockdor. Right on. Let's get you tricked out, unless you just want to bullshit, which I'm down for too. Why so fortified? You kidding? Have you any idea how much all the stuff in here is worth? This is a high capital operation. Life's dangerous for a guy missing most of his members, tooling up smugglers and criminals. And let me tell you what, though. Someone busts in here, they're gonna be in a world of hurt. There's a lot more than pipes and wires up in the false ceiling, and I got Kindly's crew and the Club 88 boys on the panic button. They know which side their bread's chromed on. What, you thinking of trying to knock me over? How'd you land in Hong Kong? He bites one of his nails and regards you with a hint of suspicion. That's a long story and kind of personal. Well, some jobs, a girl, real good reason to leave Chicago, and a whole shit ton of guns and money. Sounds like a good story, Shadowrunning. Yeah, stuff like that. He seems to warm up a little. I was a hardcore vehicle rigger back then, before Johnny Law cracked down road rigs. Man, those were the cowboy days. Freaky as hell, but great to remember. He gets a wistful look on his face. We'd rebuild trucks in chop shops, reinforce the frames, bolt armor on, mod the suspension with robotics. Drive them right through the front windows of buildings and bash aside Lone Star cruisers on the way out. Good times. You do that in Hong Kong, you get auto barricades and a missile enema. It's a crying shame. Anyway, I need to get out of Chinatown. Spread my wings. A nearby spider drone fidgets. You know how that goes. Chi-town? Okay. Seems like a long way to go just to get a break from Chicago. He smiles, but there's a steely look in his eyes. Sometimes a guy just needs a change of scene. Are you, following the news of the quarantine? His face darkens. Yeah, I am. It's a terrible thing happened there. My old hood's inside the containment zone. A lot of good peeps locked behind that wall. Supposedly it's insect spirits. I know, I saw the leaked material too. Some of the footage is pretty convincing. He shakes his head sadly. Megavitus, plague, bug spirits. I'm not sure which is more scary. That's, I mean, we were in Seattle rather than Chicago, but that's kind of like, what happened in the first game. Well, maybe it's The Walking Dead. Think about it. We got at least 4 HMHVV variants. I think it's only a matter of time until we get zombies. He gives a nervous shiver, and the nearby robotic arms tremble briefly. I'd take zombies over these bug spirit things, I'll tell you what. So a girl was involved? Yeah, there was. He shrugs awkwardly, as if to make light of it. His voice has a hint of strain in it. This is a story for another day. It's grand digging up the wreckage of the past, but time's wasting. I left Chicago, landed in the Kong. After a while of running the Kong shadows, landed here in Chrome Alley. It's really the gist of it. We better get back to earning a living, you know? So, were you a Hong Kong Shadowrunner? Yeah, I was. He looks down at the remnant of his body, scarred and dismembered. I sure don't look much like one now. He yawns and stretches, straining his leg, its stump, and scarred arm in opposite directions. Ah, man, that feels good, though. So there's a particular way this kind of conversation goes. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I presume we share useful intelligence washed of incriminating data. We show each other our butt tattoos. We orbit around each other for a while, then tacitly agree to speak only in the vaguest of terms. He looks at you approvingly. Grapevine says it's your first rodeo, but I'm not sure I believe that. Listen, I'm circumspect about my past. You're a new active runner, so I don't want to know any of your story. It's only a liability to me. He props himself up, painfully, and leans forward a little. His living eye has an intelligent gleam. So let's make this conversation useful. We'll cut the BS and give you some down low on Hong Kong, from an expat runner perspective. In return, you don't dig for my jobs list. Deal? I am already... We're pretty far into this game. Like... sure. Rock solid. Hong Kong's a good lily pad for a derby crasher like yourself. Shadows are deep, money flows, it's friendly to foreigners, there's no real government. The whole place is run by corporations and syndicates. However, it's fresh meat off the bone. You gotta decide who you want to be. Foreign runners follow 3 career paths in the con. They assimilate, they burn their bridges and get out fast, or they die. If you're a short timer, you can be as violent and splashy as you want, but the Waldo arm swings over his shoulder and points emphatically at you with its claw. If you're in for the long haul, learn the local arts. Discretion, restraint, and respect. Get the long-term face, and don't embarrass people. Hong Kong shadows grind through expendable runners, who are loaded up with bad face and then dumped in Victoria Harbor. So whatever you do, watch your back. What else you got? What else? I mean, Hong Kong's a very complex place. The other thing to remember is that Hong Kong is... Oh, thanks. Okay. It's one of the great global cities with enclaves of every major megacorp. It's a syndicate town. It's a refugee magnet. It's Guangdong. At some level, anything goes here, but when in doubt, assume that old Hong Kong tradition rules. I say that as a loudmouth bastard. Be polite. Be modest. Honor favors. Maintain face. Give respect and always treat people's time as valuable. Go on. Hong Kong fascinates me. Used to hate it here. Love it now. He takes a big breath and sighs contentedly. I found a nice little piece. If you survive, maybe you can too. And you sure do seem like a survivor. People know who I am, but only in the network. Kindly runs this neighborhood like a separate country. You paddle a boat across the canal, and no one's ever heard of me, and never would. He suddenly stops himself, as if he realizes what he's saying. He finishes lamely. Anyway, it's private. We speak the same language. Good. Glad we both appreciate having a little puddle of quiet. That's my wisdom, at least. What am I saying? My wisdom is you can never be too low profile, too lawyered up, or too well armed. Show me your services. I'll take that V8 engine and a box of chocolates. Do we make that? Well, first let's see what he actually has. We don't have any... Okay, so you need cyberware affinity for some of this stuff. Interesting. Okay. So we can get +1 willpower, -1 intelligence. We don't have cyberware affinity for anything else. Oh, okay. Alright, except for down here. +1 intelligence, +1 body, +1 strength. Yeah, maybe not too bad. Let's see. We also have a little bit extra in the... We have head and brain separately, looks like. Body and skin. And then right arm and cyber weapon. So that's kind of cool. So what do we... Passive +1 charisma. Passive. Yeah, so getting more intelligence through these, getting more like body and stuff, probably not a bad idea. +1 dodge and quickness. Okay. Let's get... body and strength. Yeah. And intelligence. And we could get the 3% hit. Or charisma. Bust the rest of our cash to get charisma, maybe. Or +1 armor from skin on top of our body. Ooh. What do we want? What do we want? Do we want the charisma or the armor? We haven't really, we haven't really had much of an issue with getting shot down. Sort of. We kind of have, but nothing... Nothing that I think one more armor would really do about, like, to fix. But... Yeah, we'll get some, modifying our body and our brain. That's all of our cash. Yeah. So, now that I don't have any money, medical supplies. Literally 0 money. So that's good. What can I sell? I don't know why that's in my inventory, actually. And I don't really have anything I can sell either. I can sell that. Yeah, I don't really have the cash for anything. Do you want to take that? Let's see what he says to this. I like you. You got good taste. But that engine's family. Seriously, what you want? Okay. Yeah, so we can't really afford anything. And we... Do we have enough medkits and stuff already? I don't know. I think we do. So, let's see if we can push. I'm not busted up, you insensitive jerk. I'm economy size. Seriously though, it's some heavy shit. It'll take a while to tell. You really want to know? Yeah, sure. He praises you quietly. You're doing good. I feel okay about telling you this. Our run went bad. In clear defiance of his own prominent sanitary space no spitting sign, he spits. Real bad. They used to call me Ripshot. I was on a 10-man crew. We were led by this ex-army troll named Icebreaker, a former combat engineer, brutal guy. We did Shadowrun, armed robbery, office invasion, underworld hits, anti-branding, just about anything as long as we could make money and hide our tracks. Sounds more like a heist crew than a runner team. It kinda was. Shadowrunning, robbery, rackets, it was all the same to us. A lot of our work was high profile, real violent. We dumped a lot of bodies in the harbor. And we had this one job. I can sum it up real quick, otherwise I tend to get long-winded. What do you think? I mean, you got any work for me, or are we just sharing? Give me the full story. We were breaking into an R&D facility. It was a vanilla job, cheap rent-a-cops, flawed security system, no problem. It was going like clockwork, and I was out in the command van on Overwatch. BAM! Something hit the van like a freight train. He grits his teeth, his body visibly tenses. The walls crushed in on me. It was a flash of light and darkness, stabbing everywhere. Pressure like a mountain falling on me. Feeling crushed to a pulp, and I blacked out. He falls silent. He falls silent. He seems to be somewhere far away in his mind. The seconds tick by. Wait. When I woke up again, it was in pitch darkness. I could hardly breathe. I was being burned by hot metal. The pain was indescribable. It was a shrieking, like the metal was screaming around me, and sparks. Someone was cutting through the wreck. Huge pressure lifted off of me. It was a blinding light. It was our glove woman, Karen. She pulled me out of the wreck, wrenched 4 tourniquets on me, shot me up with drugs, stuffed me in a security car she'd shot up. Karen jacked me in. I couldn't even hold my head up. I thought my spine was shattered. Once I was rigged in, though, the pain in my meat didn't matter. I drove us out of there. Stayed conscious just long enough to get us to a friendly clinic. By the time I got us there, Karen was going down with brain swelling. His eyes seemed to clear, as if he's returning from far away. We got barn stomped right proper. Slaughtered. He crushed a command van with a front-end loader and left me for dead. Everyone but me and Karen got wiped out. Who ambushed you? Still don't know. Best I can figure out is some sort of counter-intrusion team. Maybe the whole run was a setup. How did, Karen escape? She was carrying the first haul out when the assault team hit us. She jumped into a koi pond and lay on the bottom for about 5 minutes doing her woo-woo key-centering thing. They dropped a flashbang grenade into the pond to clear it. I messed her up good. Burst her eardrums, gave her a concussion, ruptured blood vessels in her eyes, nose, and mouth. Knocked the air out of her lungs. She stayed on the bottom for another couple minutes. I once asked her what that was like. She just said, painful. That was Karen, stoic like a concrete block. You're, So they hit you with a construction vehicle? Yeah, shoved the van right from the plasticrete wall. Right into a plasticrete wall. Nearby robot arm equipped for heavy mechanical work emphatically snaps its vice-like saw. Crushed it like a beer can. Learned something from that, I tell you what. How to seriously slot someone's day. He gestures with his chin towards the clinic's false ceiling. Got an articulated backhoe boom up there with a demolition claw. Hell with guns. Anyone ever fucks with Chrome Alley, they'll learn what high-powered hydraulics really means. How'd you survive so much trauma? He taps the side of his head. Cowardice and job security. Was always real scared of getting hurt. I kludged up my tactical computer with some healware and my headwear radio. As soon as my vitals went screwy, my trauma protocols kicked in and my radio started broadcasting my heartbeat. Karen couldn't drive. She homed in on my beacon and cut me out of the wreck with our demo saw. Then she shot me up with enough adrenaline, PMO4, and morphine to reanimate a corpse. He shivers a little. She put 3 trauma patches on me in a row. Shredded my renal system. He taps his chair. That's why this little hot rod has an artificial liver and a dialysis machine in it. Anyway, that's how it all went down. Afterwards, things were real hard for a while. He seems to take stock of himself. He breathes heavily, tension drains from his body, and he slowly relaxes. Here I am, though. Ripshot no more. By the way, Ripshot's dead. Let's keep it that way. Don't say that name to anyone, okay? Karen was an artist at faking deaths. She made sure we both vanished. He shakes himself and rubs his eye anxiously. Listen, Kara, this is a stressful subject for me. We talk more about the past another day. For now, I'm spent. Is it another day? We're far enough in the story. Is it another day? You want to keep going with this? Alright. After that ambush, things were desperate for a long time. We had to borrow a lot of money. Karen had blown ears and a brain injury. I was a chunk of raw meat. This is it. So I think I mentioned this in Dragonfall as well, actually. It's very obvious how the characters like lead you to kind of like being the end of a conversation, but because there are certain triggers in the story that like tick over, so when you can continue a conversation, it becomes very obvious if you're having a conversation all at once, which is kind of funny. It's like the weird thing with Mass Effect, like, which I believe I also mentioned in Dragonfall. It's like if you don't talk to one of the crew members enough in between missions, you just will not be able to get all of the information that allows you to like finish their kind of backstories and whatnot. It's another game that's very obviously telegraphs what the like story triggers are for being able to continue, because and then at that point it's just like every time you come back from a mission, you make the rounds in between all of your party members and like crew members to check if there are more story bits to catch up on, and it's like meh, maybe not quite as natural as it could be. After that ambush, things were desperate for a long time. We had to borrow a lot of money. Karen had, oh wait, right, okay. I was so bad that I was almost euthanized. Shit, I wanted to be put down. And we turned the tide. Why didn't they? Because of Karen. She raised holy hell about it. She was trans-Catholic, and they're dead set against suicide. To them, it's the worst sin. See, they think we're all incarnate to do our life's karmic work. No matter how shitty that work is, all other beings in the universe rely upon us to finish it. So we must see our lives through. Personally, I don't buy it. I just can't believe the universe is that cruel. He shakes his head in exasperation. She was a walking contradiction. She had high aspirations. She was terrible at all that thou shalt not kill or steal or throw people off subway platforms stuff. He rolls his eyes and gives a strained grin. She was like, Ambrose, if you smoke yourself, I'll hunt you down in your next life and gut you. I felt I owed it to her to live. It was the first time I ever felt like I owed anything to anyone. His face clouds with anger and hurt, and then what she did to me. Unfucking believable. What'd she do? It's a raw nerve. His brows draw low. He glances with intense anger towards the operating table for a moment. She betrayed me. I don't want to talk about it. So, how'd you pay all that money back? I'm getting to that. Short answer is I'm still paying it back, but I'm gaining ground. Tell you what, though, it's not the money that's hard, it's the favors. I owe kindly so many favors, I'll probably never pay them all off. This clinic lets me do a lot of things I like, but I also have to do some things I don't. And don't ask about that, I can't tell you. Okay, continue. Karen still had her haul bag from the job. It was mostly full of incomplete research data. Useless. However, it also had this crazy score. Draft Medico-Surgical No-Soft Skill Wire program. At first we thought it was a crazy score, and we realized it was just a paperweight. It wasn't some doc in a box, it was Sigma grade. Real high end. It was supposed to run through an expert robotic system, not a person. It was also unsellable, very rare, very traceable. And then he breaks into a secretive, proud smile. I figured out how to run it through my cyber. How can you run a Sigma grade Skillsoft? Cortex bridges can't handle those reactive exchange rates. Ha! Ha ha! He smiles so delightedly that even his cyber eye seems to twinkle. His voice is conspiratorial. He talks fast. I use 3 external servers to hold it, over at my workstation. Run hardlines from the servers through 2 jacks. One to my Cortex, one to my tactical computer. There are 2 jacks especially installed. One plugs in my encephalon, which has been repurposed. 4th jack connects my headwire to external memory in my wheelchair. My encephalon handles algorithmic load, while my tactical computer acts as an enteric processor and titrates between my no-soft, skill wire, brain, and the control rig. The whole mashup takes 5 custom programs, all Wampoan built. From there, smooth sailing. He smiles beatifically. I'm not just Ambrose. I am the chair, the servers, the machinery. I am Chrome Alley. And that's why my remaining essence is just a precious sliver. Where was I? Oh yeah. So I figured out how to run the program. I said, Karen, this is our golden ticket. We're gonna make a killing. We borrowed more money and got kindly in the Ka-Fi tribe to sponsor us, set up Chrome Alley, and the rest is history. He looks proudly around at the medical clinic cum machine shop. Maybe it's not a killing, but it turned out to be a pretty good life. Do you worry about the program's owners coming after you? I worry about a lot of people coming after me. Nobody ever really gets out of the shadows, but my trail's cold. I've had this thing for 5 years now. Ripshot's dead. 10-armed Ambrose lives here now. Can we... Let's push. She betrayed me. He folds one arm tensely across his chest and scowls. She left me here. He nods towards a small framed picture over his impressive home-built computer. That's Karen. Pictures of a serious-looking Filipino woman in a black tank top. Her neck, shoulders, and arms are chiseled with lean muscle and spotted with tattoos. She looks vaguely annoyed at the camera. Semper Fidelis is visible in Gothic script, tattooed across her chest. A trans-Catholic rosary hangs on the picture, a crucifix with a delicate Kali yantra overlying the center. In the picture, the rosary is visible around the woman's neck. She quit Shadowrunning too. Supposedly, she made a full recovery. She started delivering for smugglers. She was my main conduit for drugs and cyber. He shakes his head gently. She just stopped caring about anything. Maybe it was the brain injury, but I don't think so. I think everything she'd done started catching up with her. I could see it in her eyes. Take your time. He rubs his mouth with the remainder of his hand. He pauses. She couldn't sleep. She wouldn't take meds for it. I think she didn't want to get better. One day she was here. We were behind the curtain. I went out front to talk to someone. He presses one of his remaining fingers into the side of his neck. She took her butterfly knife and set the point right here. She pushed the blade right through, and out along her trachea, sliced through everything outside of that, severed her own carotid artery, just like she was removing a sentry. That was it. Done. He stops. He holds his hand over his mouth for a long moment. When he continues, his voice is thick. She did it right there, on the operating table. It wasn't even a thump. It was Karen. Efficient, ruthless, considerate in a weird way. Could ever live by her own moral commandments. Could never ask for what she needed. He crosses himself. Requiescat cum Deus, Karen Santos. Kali, Mater Magna, Jesu Christe, Swami Nostar. He gives you a sidelong glance. I'm not trans-Catholic. Hell, I'm not into religion at all, but I try to honor her in that way. I know what it's like to lose comrades. Oh! Again! Academic! It's always academic. It's always, literally always academic. I'm always like, you don't need academic for Shadowrun, but no. Every single, like all three of the games have had so many academic choices. I know what it's like. I know you do. I know you do. He looks silently at Karen's picture. Eventually he turns back to you. Ripshot's dead. Mild Hood in Chicago's in the containment zone. Karen. She was my best friend, ever. I'm the last man standing. So here I am. I think I survived for a reason, so I could make other people's lives better. That's what I'm trying to do. Life is what we make it, right? Life is what we make it. You want a drink? You should have a drink. A robotic arm flings open a cabinet, clatters inside it, and swings across the room clutching a sapphire blue bottle. This is Lambanog. It's a Filipino coconut vodka. Have a shot with me? Sure. Robotic arm pours 2 shots. It swings one over to you. He gingerly takes the other in his ruined hand and holds it up. To fallen friends. Yeah. You swallow the shots together. The strong raisin-flavored liquor burns going down. He looks around in silence, then his gaze settles on you, lonely. It used to be a real piece of work, Kira. When I got busted up for the first time in my life, I had to rely on other people. Broke, hunted, close to death. Not so different from how you showed up, except for the death part. Someone here owed Karen a favor. People of Huey took care of us. Now, I think, if I did so much harm in my past life, how much healing can I do in this one? He sighs and clutches his shot glass against his chest, like a religious talisman. He looks thoughtfully at you. That's more than I told anyone in a long time. It does his heart good. Thanks. Rockter's life is busy. Better wrap this up. It was a privilege to listen. Glad to know you. Okay. Yeah, well, that was interesting. We, oh, and now we have, things that we can examine here. News clippings, mementos posted by the clinic are visibly consistent. Through the general decorations, you can trace this journey. A bunch of aging Chicago photographs. Seattle. The ocean, from what looks like a container ship, Osaka, Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong. The residents of Kyoi plaster over everything else. Stop looking. Okay, we're gonna call it, actually, because that was basically half an hour of us talking to this one guy. So, yeah. So that was cool. We're gonna call it here, and when we come back, we're going to have ourselves a conversation with our mob boss, who is presumably not going to be very happy with us. So that should be good. Yeah. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!